Stay with me if you want it. Stay with me if you want it. Stay with
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Meshi with Path to Wellness with Meshi. Welcome to another video. How are you doing today? Nobody knows how you're doing because you can't actually answer me, so that was completely redundant. So in today's video, I wanted to show you how we can set up our Danielle Laporte Desire Map Planner for 2019. So as you might have seen already, a lot of people have talked about the Desire Map Planner when it was initially launched, but unfortunately I haven't really seen too many people actually use it. So I thought, what if you're not a bullet journaler? What if you love all the things, like you have all the brush pens and you have all the pens, or maybe you just have a ballpoint pen and you're like brand new to setting this up, but you wanted to make it look kind of cute and then something where you're actually going to be going back and using it regularly. So I thought that I would just show you a couple of the spreads in here and I will show you how I am using it personally. So if you're interested, then just stay tuned and let's get started. So in today's video, I'm using the weekly, so I do have the Desire Map Planner from Danielle Laporte. This is their weekly setup, which means that a lot of the spreads are set up and they're already pre-filled for you. So as you can tell, like it's already completely pre-filled, which is great. But part of me kind of longs for like tutorials or like videos where you actually see like, okay, how does that look like in action? Because they don't really give you a ton of space for the dailies. So we kind of shifted from, if you remember, or if you're familiar with their 2018 design. 2018 design was set up as a daily, which I thought was it was just a little bit too much personally, because I found that I wasn't really going back to filling it out every single day. So I'm quite happy that we're doing it as a weekly setup, because then you're just kind of setting up your day and then, or you're setting up your entire week and then you kind of hop back in and then just fill out like your to-do list. Like it's a very minimalistic approach, which is lovely. But then there's certain prompts that, like I wanted to kind of show you how I personally use them. So I will just hop on over to, I'll bring you closer up to my desk, and then we can take a look at how I decided to decorate it a little bit and how what tools I'm using. I'm kind of using a variety, so I'm just telling you this right now. And because some of you have asked me in my initial review in this video, how does it work with ballpoint pens? I have tested it with did I test it with watercolor? No, I haven't. I tested it with pencils. In this case, I used some dual brush pens. I'm using some Tombow pens, and I'm going to be using a Sharpie, but I generally use the Pigma Micron pens. So these are great because the ink in there is archival ink, which means that it's not going to fade over time, in case you care about that. It's also waterproof, so if you ever wanted to go over it with some watercolor. In this one, I'm really not going to. I kept it really simple and I didn't get like overly crafty with it, but at the same time I wanted to show you sort of how can you sort of zhuzh it up, how can you like spaz it up a little bit so that it kind of looks a little bit prettier than just blank page. And then there you go. So let's hop on over to the footage where I show you a couple of the pages, and hopefully you'll find it helpful in decorating your own weekly planner that's already sort of pre-filled. But I wanted to showcase just a little bit of a different setup versus like if you don't have a bullet journal, or if you're not ready to start your bullet journal but you're kind of intrigued, then I thought that I would show you a couple of the spreads of how we can kind of decorate it and really use it to its full potential. So let's get started. So first, when you open it up, sort of gives you some prompts. Here's the astrology review, here's the astrology guide. And then here we kind of get started with like the core desired feelings, your intentions, what your habits and rituals are, and then notes to your future self. And then here I already have like the full annual review, like for 2019 and 2020. I think I filled this out for 2020, but here's a sample of sort of what I was thinking that you could sort of do. So here I just kind of decorated the bottom with some washi tape, and then I have family, relationships, spirituality, health, finance, and business, and then we can have like 3 bullet points. So we're going to do the exact same thing on this side as well, and I think that I'm going to be using just like a moss green pen. I like that it's a little bit smaller than last year's, I have to say. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is I set up the word of the year, which for me, it happens to be bold. And then after that, I'm just basically setting up the different categories. And I feel like here you actually have sufficient amount of space for that. So here I have family, relationships, spirituality, health, finance, and business. So we're just setting that up right now. And you will notice that for each category, I left 3 bullet points, because what I wanted to do is I wanted to have, like, for the year, 3 main things that I wanted to keep focused on for those categories of my life. And then that way we can actually start transferring that into our monthly goals and like quarterly goals too, if you wanted to. In the bottom, you kind of have a little bit of space left, so we can actually just use that to decorate it. Now for decoration, I'm choosing some washi tape, but honestly, you can use some pencils. If you have watercolor pencils and then you add a tiny bit of water, it would look really beautiful as well. Now I'm also using a highlighter here just so that like it gives a pop of color as well. I personally love using the Tombow brush pens, but I mean, honestly, you can use anything that you have. One of the more budget-friendly option would also be the Crayola pens. Those are usually excellent. Yes, I'm using little stamps, and here I just wanted to just add in the word of the year just as a quick friendly reminder. Moving on to the weekly setup, so here I not only use the highlighter to just basically highlight each of the days. I feel like the to-dos, I just wanted to keep it really precise, but you can use color coordination, and you might not be able to see it on this page, but in the bottom, I added all of the different colors for each of the categories. So like blue would be like personal, or red would be like work, and you can use whatever colors you want, but I find that when you have it color coordinated, it just makes things a little bit more precise of, you know, how much you can get done. And then obviously the very last, like the reflection page, I'm using that really both as a pencil or with a marker, just so that you have some time to actually tune in and reflect. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that it was helping you in setting up your January and setting up your year, and it kind of gave you a little bit of inspiration of how you can use that as a tool to really help you keep inspired and living a more conscious life. Let me know in the comments if you do have this planner and what your thoughts are about it currently, or if you have used any of the Danielle Laporte planners before. I'm very curious. It's really interesting to see sort of like the preferences of people, so I'm always interested to find out what you're into. Thank you so much for coming by and hanging out with me in this I don't know, review / setup. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I had so much fun creating this for you. I hope that you found this useful and helpful. If you did, you can give me a big thumbs up, and you can also subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a video. We talk a little bit about eco-living, about bullet journaling and planning, and just overall just how to live a more consciously driven life. And because we kind of go into a few different topics throughout the week, I usually release a video every Tuesday, Thursday, and then once on the weekend. So because I go into a few different topics throughout the week, you might not know what's sort of coming up down in the piper. So every Sunday, I usually send out a recap email to my email community that sort of shows some of the best takeaways from each of my videos. I usually leave links to every single video in case you missed it. And I also show you what is coming up for the following week. If you wanted to sign up and you're interested, then I left the link down in the description where you can sign up for it completely free and complimentary. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and thank you so much for watching. And I hope you have yourself a wonderful day, and just keep shining your light, because you're more powerful than you think. I'll see you again next time. Bye.
And link is in the bio. Not in the bio, in the description box. Oh my god. You know what's hilarious? When... There you go. When you're shooting a video, and then the card says, oh, I'm full. No, you're not, because I already deleted everything off of you. Why do you say... Okay, anyways. So that worked out great.